Hello and welcome to Live Fit, Ignite Change. I'm Patrick O'Donnell, and life is about change, growing, improving. You hear it all the time. You're either growing or you're dying. Yet growth and change can be hard, especially when it's breaking old habits. Some of the hardest habits to break are the unhealthy habits. Yet the greatest transformations have started with just one small action. Today, we cover the 3 phases of the transformation journey to peak health. But before we do, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel, where we cover how to live a fit life so you can ignite peak health and performance and thrive in all areas of your life, so you can live longer, better, and make the kind of impact you're called to make. We'll share the links to the free guides, show notes, and tips in the description and on livefitignitechange.com. Again, we continue our short episodes through the Ignite Performance Blueprint, which shares the blueprint we've used with purpose-driven executives to reverse aging and perform at their best. Today is the 3rd segment in the blueprint, and it builds on the other 2. So if you missed those, you may want to check them out first. And this one includes how it's vitally important to know where you are to know where you're going, what's needed for implementation to work, how the right system can lead you to living a wildly fulfilling life. Plus, we'll get into some of the actual results from several who followed these 3 phases. Sound good? Here we go. All right, the 3 essential phases of the transformation journey. Number 1 is to assess and recalibrate. Many times when people want to get fit, they jump right into trying a diet or an exercise routine. But without the proper foundation, that can actually cause them to fail, as there's a lot more to it. To really achieve success and hit your goals, you need to go through 3 steps first. And the process begins with assessing where you are. This includes uncovering what's worked for you before and what has not. If appropriate to your circumstances, you can use blood tests, gene tests, or gut microbiome tests to see where you may have deficiencies. We use these in our programs with our clients, and it certainly helps to know where you are starting from. And really, no matter what method you use, you have to know where you are to know where you're going. So a quick question. Have you ever used a mapping program on your cell phone to figure out where you need to go? Of course, we all have. And what 2 things are needed to make it work? And it's pretty obvious. You need to enter 1, where you are starting from, and 2, where you are going. So we do this all the time for places we need to go. But when we look at where we're going in life, so many never look at where they're starting from. And as I said, it really is key to know where you are so you can figure out where you're going to go. This is a big part of phase 1. It's to assess which parts of your life need to change, and then setting goals to paint your ideal future picture in those areas of your life and giving them your intentional focus. This is where the recalibration comes in. If you haven't reached your goals, there's a reason why. This is why the first phase of the protocol is mindset. It's taking this phase of recalibration to work on you, to get in the right mindset so you can enjoy and stick with the new habits for life. We'll cover this in more detail in the mindset portion of the 7 key components later. But for now, we'll move on to phase 2 of the transformation journey. So after assessing and recalibrating, it is time for step 2, and that is to implement and reignite. Once the recalibration is complete, this phase involves optimizing the science-backed protocols of mindset, sleep, nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle factors, which we'll again cover in the 7 components. As mentioned, simply doing these on your own often doesn't yield results. Yet after the assessment and the recalibration and applying these proven protocols, the results have really been phenomenal. This phase involves that intentional focus on the protocol and implementing the needed daily actions. Anything worthwhile in life is worth working for. With these protocols, they may be simple, but they're not often easy. Yet when implementing them, it really does allow you to reignite peak health and performance. And it's that system that will multiply the results. And that is phase 3, systemize and revitalize. Every great success has come from the systems and routines that made it possible. You do not rise to the level of your goals, but rather you fall to the level of your systems. This piece is vitally important. You can use the elite execution system mentioned before or another system that works for you. The point is, when you find something that works for you and you use it to form those habits that just become a way of life, you will create a wildly fulfilling life. It allows you to truly live a high performance lifestyle so you make the impact that you're called to make with your family, your coworkers, and in the world. So, ready to dive into the system, the protocol, and the 7 components? Let's get ready to do that. And at this point, right before we do, you may be wondering how the system and protocol has transformed the lives of hundreds of professionals. So let's cover that in success stories. First, here's JP. In his 40s, he dialed in his exercise and nutrition, and using one of those tests that I was talking about earlier to track results, he wrote back that seeing the data, he said, my testosterone level increased naturally from 611 to 771. My hair has grown back fuller. I'm in better moods, improved lifts in the gym, and body fat went from 11 to 7%. And Stacy said, I found once I hit 45 years old, losing weight was a huge struggle. So I am so thankful that this taught me how to eat in a healthier way. I've also appreciated the meditation and mindset portion, losing 9% of my body weight, reducing body fat percentage by 10%, going down 2 inches at my waist and 2.5 inches in my hips has been very exciting. She went on to say, I'm back in my normal clothes and looking forward to my upcoming vacation. Awesome. And there's Jeff. In 40 days, and I lost a total of 17 pounds. Before, my blood sugar levels were high. Since starting, I've reduced my body fat by 8%, went down 3 belt sizes, and blood sugar levels returned to normal levels. All this while improving his lifts in the gym. And he said, this has really improved the quality of my life. It's important to live and enjoy life. And how about Jason? As a Marine, he regularly trained in the past, yet with his son getting older, he noticed that he wasn't in the shape that he was before and used our accountability to help him hit his goal. In his 40s, hitting a lifetime PR, saying, exciting news, I hit 405 pounds on the bench press last night, which means I hit my goal. The accountability piece of Fit Life played a huge part in me meeting that goal for sure. And I love this because he said he wanted to lead by example for his son. And then there's Brandy, who broke her foot, so she couldn't walk and needed to get ready for a 30-mile hike for charity. She gained more weight than anticipated and wanted to be a role model for her daughter. She said, this came at the perfect time for me. I lost a good bit of weight and completed the hike. The support and the accountability really did help me. It was the group part that I really enjoyed. And there's Nick, who was born with congenital heart disease and after a heart transplant had to take medications which spiked blood sugar. So he took insulin to regulate it. And then on our program, he lost weight, built muscle, regulated blood sugar naturally with diet and exercise alone so he could stop taking insulin. And he said, the biggest achievement is how I feel. The difference in my gut health, energy, and motivation is astounding. This really was a life-changing opportunity for me. And how about Chris? He dialed in food and exercise that he could enjoy and got accountability and support from the community. He said, I started Fit Life with the support of my family, friends, and gym. I achieved my first goal, down 25 pounds in 40 days and felt great, and went on to lose 100 pounds in just over a year. Awesome. And there's Denise. As a lifelong distance runner, she reduced the amount of cardio and focused on her food that she would enjoy that would help her hit her weight loss goal. She said, I'd been struggling, and this is the most successful I've been in a long time. I lost 11 pounds since starting. I made a complete diet overhaul, managed my calorie intake, and did not do as much intensive cardio. Overall, I feel 1,000,000 times better physically and emotionally. And Jim, who said, I was really happy with the results. My energy came back. I was also blessed with sleep. My sleep patterns became regular, and I was able to get a good night's sleep. After 30 days, I'd lost 12.5 pounds and 3 inches off my waist. I have a lot more energy, and I feel very good with my progress. Or Karen, who wanted to lose weight but couldn't get motivated. And she said, I decided to join, and I am so glad I did. I've lost 30 pounds since starting. This is not a diet, but a way of life. The accountability calls are one of my favorite parts. I've found them so beneficial. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I don't typically like to talk about myself, but I've used this protocol and system for years too, and I can keep doing things to tweak it to improve. While people say and complain they can't gain muscle over 40, at 45, I put on 9 pounds of muscle in 10 weeks naturally without changing my body fat percentage, which was already where I wanted it to be. And really, there are hundreds more of success stories just like these. And the best part of them is that they've reignited health and performance and made a positive impact on the other areas of life, being able to stop taking medication, setting a date and going on a dream family trip, able to play with children again, doubling the size of the business, improving quality of family relationships, starting a philanthropic initiative to give back, and so many more. So that is what I love to see the most. Exactly. We call our podcast Live Fit, Ignite Change. And all of these individuals ignited the change that they wanted to see by following these 3 phases. It's these 3 that are core to both our executive performance coaching and corporate team well-being programs. So to recap, it is so important to be able to know where you are right now, like we mentioned in the map analogy earlier. We do it all the time for places we're going, but we don't do it for our bodies, for our life. You need the roadmap to your peak health. This starts with assessing where you are right now. In life, as mentioned in the previous episode when we spoke about the personal compass, start with a life assessment to see how you're performing in all areas of life, and then set goals around that. Or maybe you're not feeling or performing at your best. You have low energy, sleep issues, brain fog, or gut issues. Well, there's a root cause for those. Just take the time to get the assessment done, have a gene test done, have a blood test done. I mean, I had had traditional blood work done at physicals for years, and being in good shape, the results were always good. In fact, when I got my life insurance, they said that my blood work was in the top 1% of people my age, so I got the discounted rate that wasn't even shared with the public. Yet when I did these health assessments, the blood work, the gene test that we're now using in our programs, I found that my biomarkers were not optimized. I was missing key raw materials. For example, my vitamin D was low. And I live in Florida. I'm out in the sun all the time. So thinking, how in the world is my vitamin D low? And also, my testosterone level, while not low, it still wasn't where I would like it to be. Yet then following the guidelines, updating my protocol, and just a couple simple supplements, by the next year, my vitamin D increased to the optimal zone. My testosterone level went up 100 points naturally. So it pays to assess where you are. And we use Inside Tracker and 10x Health for these, and we'll link all of these along with the discount codes in the show notes if you have any interest in that. Plus, for the gene test, we had Gary Brecka on episode 13 of this podcast talking about the importance of putting the raw materials back in the body. And we'll follow up with more on that in the next episode as we get into the assessment phase. Then we'll go deeper into phase 2 and 3, the protocol and system, in the 7 key components to living a fit and wildly fulfilling life. So again, be sure you've subscribed and stay tuned for that. And you can find all the tips and resources in the show notes for this episode at livefitignitechange.com/phases. That's livefitignitechange.com/phases, which is PHASES. If you resonated with this and would like to go deeper, there are a few ways to get started. Our goal is to share how we've guided purpose-driven leaders and organizations to ignite peak performance in less time without questionable medications. So you can, 1, join our community of high performers to get access to our Kickstart resources, ebook, the blueprint, and accompanying PDFs for free at livefitignitechange.com/start. 2, if you have a question, you can connect with me on LinkedIn and send a message to ask any question. The link is also at livefitignitechange.com/connect. Or 3, if you're the type who prefers to fast-track results with a personalized plan, guidance, and accountability to ensure results for you and or your organization, you can book a free assessment call at livefitignitechange.com/call. And finally, since we've been talking about igniting performance and change, my family and I are igniting the change that we wish to see in the world. We were sick of all the processed, sugar-loaded foods and drinks marketed to us, especially to our youth. So we're developing a line of truly delicious, grain-free, sugar-free products that student athletes and on-the-go adults love as part of our InRive performance nutrition brand. Learn more and join the InRive Insiders for free to be the first to hear about samples, launch parties, and specials at inrive.com. That's INRIVE.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I certainly hope you received value from this. If so, please help spread the word. The best way to do that is by subscribing, leaving a 5-star review on the podcast, or liking and commenting on YouTube, and sharing this episode with someone who'd find it helpful. It means so much to us, and it may change a life for someone else. That's what's needed to reach more and serve more. So together, we truly can ignite the change that we wish to see. Thank you for your help. I hope you make it an outstanding day and go forth to light, love, and serve the world and live the life you've always imagined.